So anyway,
Valid.
welcome to the
Again,
bar is
all
ankle
valid
high.
points. We
I'm
are
Katie.
thriving. Thanks for asking. I'm Garet.
Yeah. This
And again,
is episode.
mine was unrelated. Go ahead.
Okay. This is episode 72, the last episode of 2023. What were
It's a
you
good
going to
thing.
say?
I was going to apologize again for pumping because my pump machine is annoying sounding.
I can't hear it, but
Katie can't hear it. So fingers crossed that nobody can hear it, because I was for sure like, okay, so I'll just keep myself muted, and then anytime I have to talk, I'll turn off the pump and unmute myself, and like that's how we'll do it. I was envisioning myself like DJing between the computer and the pump, and I was like, I'm for sure gonna fuck this up, but we'll give it a try, but I don't have to, so it's great.
You were like eating or something once, and you muted yourself to speak, and then
Yes, I
unmuted
did.
yourself to eat, and you weren't also trying to pump at the same time.
Yes, and I was eating like Chex Mix or something, so it like couldn't have been louder in a microphone. So we're real professionals. You're
So
welcome.
worst case scenario, it's just some breast pump ASMR in the background of today's episode.
Yeah, it is definitely like a white noise thing to me now. Like I have it on. I sometimes like forget until I'm like, oh god, my nips are white.
Suddenly you shrivel up like SpongeBob left out in the sun.
Yeah, SpongeBob when he goes to Sandy's dome and there's no water, but he's too polite to tell her that he's dry, so he just keeps living in this dry thing until
and it's
he
you
just with a pump.
Yeah, using the pump noise to stim and self-soothe.
Yep, that tracks.
So the last time we heard from you, and I'm just asking, well, not the last time we heard from you, because this episode comes out the week after we talk about the horse traditions in Wales. But
at first I was like, what fucking horse traditions? What impatience. Fucking horse traditions.
But as we're recording, the last time we heard from you, you said that you hadn't made your therapy appointment yet. Have you, just confirming, have you made your therapy appointment? Did you go?
No, I'm going Wednesday. And I did an in-person appointment to get myself out of the house.
Nice.
And I went for a walk by myself. So I have accomplished 2 things.
Wow. Good job.
2 big things. Thank you. Thank you.
You cured your depression.
I did. I'm cured. It's fixed. Oh god. Yeah, my my poor therapist. I sent Katie a screenshot. Katie was like, "Hey, just a reminder, you were planning on making a therapy appointment," which thank God she did. And I started laughing out loud when I read it, because I went into my inbox. Of course, you know, I always want promo codes, so I always do that, like, oh, sign up for emails and save 20%. So my inbox is that's like, you know what, that's going to be my New Year's resolution. It's going to be to get my inbox under control, and like unsubscribe from emails. It got buried, and I had messaged her a week and a half before Katie texted me to remind me. She responded, and then I forgot to answer, because I did that thing where I was like, well, I sent the email and I told her I needed to make an appointment, and the subject line was, oh Lord.
It was, oh Lord. Yeah, I was going to share the subject line and the date, but it was just like too much to redact in that screenshot, because it really was a lot of work. Quite funny. And honestly, the only reason I remembered to remind you is because I was listening to that episode. I was like, I better shoot Garet a text.
Oh God. And I literally wrote her an email, and I was like, times are tough, lost track of the weeks, need to make an appointment. She was like, okay, like what works for you? And I was like, hey, give me any middle of the day appointments that nobody wants. I'll take those. So just like any 10
And
to
she
11.
did. And then you were like, goodbye.
She did. And then I didn't answer her for a week. And I had to write her email. I was like, wow, a week late. I'm responding to this. And she was like, that's okay. I was going to follow up and make sure, we got something. So yeah, I'm just, it's all the way around.
I feel like that's
All the
part
way.
of the job being a therapist is like a lot of following up with your little feral kitten patients. And
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
because I'm you know what? Feral kitten's a really good way to put it. That's what I am right now.
yeah, super cute, but out of control.
Super cute, out of control, maybe gets a little violent, probably needs a rabies vaccination.
Yeah, but like you're violent in a way that like it's like we just got to let you tire yourself out. 'Cause you
Yeah.
can't really you're only going to do damage to like curtains
Yep.
and stuff.
Excellent
So,
way to put it. Yep.
yeah.
Give me some food and let me take a nap, and maybe it'll be better when I wake up. Maybe not.
Which
Who
is pretty
knows?
much where PK is with me now that I have the like capacity to handle things in the
Oh,
house.
exciting.
I really am. Like it was kind of like weighing on me where I was like, I've really got to clean this fucking house before we have company over. Like even
That's
though it's just
exactly what we said.
ugh,
We're doing the same thing. Like that's our plan for this weekend is just to like get some things under control
like
because
it's just like the little like tumbleweeds of cat hair that are like blowing by where I'm like, yeah, I've really not been vacuuming the corners.
yeah.
Like,
We were actually just talking about my mom was like, "What do you want for Christmas?" I'm just really struggling with that question because I'm like
housekeeper.
I was like I don't need anything and so I realized that they now make Shark because I love Shark vacuums.
So
Fucking
good.
mundane information
Yeah.
that nobody needs, but I love Shark
But they're the
vacuums.
best.
They are. And they're like the best priced. They last the longest, just like,
I have
man,
a rechargeable stick vacuum from them that I adore.
we have one of those. It's
So
great.
good.
Um, my only complaint about Shark is that their cords are not long enough, and the stick vacuum is the solution to that.
Yep.
So Shark
Although
makes
my
a
brother has a Shark vacuum and the cord, like I could vacuum the entire downstairs of his house with that thing plugged into one. It was
okay.
wild.
I don't have any of those. All of
I
mine
don't
have
know.
like
I
stupid
don't
short cords.
I'll have to ask him if he knows like the model number or something cuz it was the kind of thing where I was like, I have a Shark vacuum and I can get pretty far. Like in my old apartment, I could do a lot, but still I was like, this
It's
is so
so
much long. Like
annoying.
I could have easily done my entire apartment both sides of like I couldn't get to the other side of my bed in my apartment. So like I could get the side of the bed that I used, which
Yeah.
was really the filthy side anyway. So
Yeah.
but like yeah, that's the only Shark vacuum that has had like a
A
usable
long
cord.
cord.
And I would like a retractable cord, but otherwise,
Yes. Could I have a super long retractable cord in a Shark vacuum?
yes.
They make a like a Roomba,
Mhm.
but it also is a wet mop, so it does dry
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah,
wet. And
yeah.
when it docks itself, it empties
Oh, nice.
the collection thing. And I said to my mom, I was like, you know what? This would make my life so much easier
Yeah.
because vacuuming and wet mopping the floors because I have 2 dogs and there's
Mhm.
people and baby stuff and we're constantly in and out. I was like, it would just make my life so much easier. So, um, yeah, that was one of those things where I was like, you know what, this would help because we are struggling with cleaning right now.
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah,
If I had sealed hardwood floors, I would be on that train as well.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah. So anyway, speaking though of holiday gifts and New Year's resolutions, this is the last episode of 2023, but not our last
Woohoo!
episode ever. So don't worry. But I thought it was worthwhile to talk about New Year's resolutions specifically for people with ADHD because like I always get caught up in the idea of having a resolution and like taking that opportunity, I guess, like with everybody kind of like choosing something like not necessarily a way to like reinvent yourself, but like, okay, now I'm going to start like exercising or
Yeah.
organizing my space or whatever. And there's all this, like all the stores are full of like workout gear and organization bins
Just so
and
much pressure.
right, like new planners and all this other stuff. So even if I'm not like cuz I think overall I'm not really a resolution person, it's hard to not get like swept up into that like fervor.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had a resolution that like you've kept?
There was one year where I was like really committed to, and I tried to get away from losing weight because
Mhm.
I feel like I had that resolution every year, and I was thinking about it earlier, and I'm like, I almost feel like I had that resolution because that's the resolution everybody was expected to have.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like that diet culture, like that era.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, every year, bikini season's coming up. Like,
Yeah. Well, cuz yeah, all the bikinis are now in the stores as of like January 1st.
right, what the fuck?
So,
So yeah, every year I used to have that, and then I tried to shift it and make it like I just want to start the new year like being healthier.
mhm.
And I did keep that, and that was like the start of me like doing a lot of lifestyle changes that made me feel a lot better.
Hmm.
Um, which I really maintained until I got pregnant, and
Well, that's fair. You
um,
shouldn't be I think the definition of health changes when you're growing an extra person.
yeah, yep, yep.
Yeah. Um yeah, I think
What
I
about
know that
you?
in the past I've done like I've definitely done like the diety kind of
Hmm.
things where for a while I was doing like diet bets or step bets.
I never did a diet bet.
Well, I never won one. But my body does this cool thing and I don't know if it's like actually like I've never like plotted it out, but it's like I could be on like a downward trend and it'd be like, okay, I'm gonna do a diet bet with like my friends when I was doing Weight Watchers.
Hmm.
Um, and like as soon as I signed up, my body was like, time to plateau, go fuck yourself. And I would not lose weight or like would gain a pound or whatever. And then I'd end up losing my money every fucking time.
Yeah,
So like anytime I was like, okay, I need to lose 20 pounds by June 1st,
I was
it
like,
would
what a crazy thing that we used to do. By the way,
oh, absolutely.
yeah.
But it would just go out the window. Like there would be and then it would get to the point where I'm like, okay, well, it's April 1st and I'm actually up 5 pounds. So now I got to lose 25 pounds in 2 months. That's not reasonable.
Hmm.
Um so it ended up like eventually I was like, well, that's like I can't do it that way. So then I turned to like step bets, which is like a diet bet, but you link like your fitness tracker and it just measures your steps each day and you like set a goal. It like looks at your running data and then it'll give you a goal that's like 10 or 15% above like what your current average is. And so you're supposed to hit that every day or a
Hmm.
certain number of days per week. And that was a little bit more productive for me. Like I was able to quote unquote succeed at that. Um but it was still that thing where at a certain point, it's like, yeah, some days I just need a day to do nothing, especially like this was pre-diagnosis. Like I was unmedicated. So like I didn't have anything on board. I had birth control on board. That's all I had. And so I didn't even have like an anxiety med on hand.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
what
yeah,
I
yeah.
know now, like what I can identify now as being burnout is what was happening. Because I don't
Hmm.
exactly work a stress-free job. Um, so it would get to that point where then I'm like sitting on my couch and I'm like, fuck, I need to get like 1,000 more steps today. So then I'm like shaking my hand to accrue steps without actually doing anything, which is like whatever. But it's that kind of thing where I'm
Yeah.
like, this isn't the point of this fucking challenge.
Right.
So like I think although a couple years ago, I think it was 2021, like 2020 going into 2021, after being stuck inside all the time, I had a resolution to like kind of get organized. So I got like a bunch of bins and like different like wire racks to go into my kitchen cabinets to hold my pots and pans so that they're like
Mm-hmm.
easy to get at.
Yep.
And that was pretty useful. I got like 80% of the way through that organization project before I lost steam, which is pretty good for me considering.
Right,
Again,
like, I mean, all
before
things considered,
diagnosis.
right, it's like, I think that the organizational ones are probably a lot healthier,
Hmm.
because you're not doing any kind of undue stress to your body, and that's something you can, like, chip away at. I mean,
Yeah, for sure. And I think especially like were we to do something like if I were to have a resolution like that now, it would be like probably with PK and saying like, okay, once a quarter, we're going to organize a room in this house.
mhm,
Like, and so first quarter, it'll be the office where we go through and like get rid of the stuff that we're not using and that's just taking up space and like get rid of it and be done. And then it's kind of like done for the year. But yeah, so I mean, I think, and again, it's like, I'll have like I'll get impatient and I'll have a ton of energy one day on the weekend and then I'll be done with it. And my brain will think, okay, all done. I sent the email. I don't need to follow
I was
up.
gonna say it's kind of like when I send an email and then it's immediately removed from my brain because I've taken care of
Exactly.
it. Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
So I think
yeah.
like for me, I think having a project as a New Year's resolution is better than having like
These
s-
nebulous, like,
yeah, like something
lofty goals.
yeah, something that's like super measurable. I think I struggle with because it's very easy for me to say, "Well, you failed."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I do really struggle with negative self-talk, and so I think having something that's like, "Well, I'm not losing weight," or I haven't run a 5K yet this year," or something like that's a very kind of easy to objectively measure,
Mhm.
I these days stay away from.
Well, and you think
Um
about, like, the incorporation to any of these goals, you incorporate fitness trackers and
Mhm.
calorie counters, and everything is so data driven that it's very hard
Yes,
not to measure everything in data and metrics and be
for
like, well,
sure.
I've only increased this by, 5% in the last 6 months, and that's not enough.
Well, and how many
Um,
workplaces have, like, a weight loss challenge for the new
mhm.
year? Like, granted, I don't know if my new job will do this, but at work, there might be a weight loss challenge, and so it's like, well, are you not participating in it? Like, and why aren't you participating in it? And then everybody's like, I know Maintenance Phase did an episode on 1 or 2 episodes on that, but it's like suddenly everybody's looking at what you're eating and like, "Oh, you're not participating in the
Yep.
weight loss challenge?" Like, and it can be really peer pressury if
Oh, yeah.
you're not like in a good spot, really.
Yeah, or,
Um,
I know, like, I've done them because 'cause I've done weight loss challenges where I'm with a team,
mhm.
and,
Oh, that fucking workforce challenge makes me wanna blow my brains out.
there's this, just to
Yeah, we have to
clarify,
explain that one.
there's a very large it's a big 5K
Well,
that
yeah,
they
because
do
it's done
locally.
by one of the only health insurance companies in the state.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's like all these local businesses have teams
yeah, but we'll start getting emails about that probably in, like,
soon.
February or March,
I
and, because 'cause they'll do, like, training things with it, and
Yeah,
again, like, your
like couch
job
to 5K type things.
yes, and at your employer, particularly if your employer offers insurance through this company, which most places in this area do, um, it's a like, they are like, "Our team," like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah," like, "Sign up to be on the, like, OCFS team or the Department of Health team," and
Yep.
it's like it's just like, apart from, like I hated crowds before COVID, like, this type of, like, mob scene is
It's
not for me.
crazy.
I have always not like, I don't mind it if I don't have to drive in it as much, but I still am not a huge fan of, like, just not being able to get away from people and not being able to, like, take a deep breath without
Yeah.
being, like, pushed up against somebody. It's just not for me. And since COVID, like, fuck it all the way off. Like, I cannot. But,
I got
yeah, so I
bullied by
think
guys sitting on a stoop during that race. They
that
ran past
I
him and they
mean, that
go,
tracks for That city.
You call that running? And I was like,
See, that's a situation where you could have had the Herbalife tea and shit on command right into his face. That would
I
have been
wish I
good.
did. Hindsight, wish I shit on his face. Episode title. My New Year's resolution. My New Year's resolution is the next person that bullies me gets poop on their face.
Fair. That's reasonable. And I mean, you walk around with poop bombs just
all the time.
Yeah.
All
ready to go.
Yeah.
Shout out to baby.
Yep.
So I also think that, like, especially for fitness related goals this time of year, they always sound great, but like I said last week, like the solstice is great, but like our weather is just starting to get bad.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like when you have these fitness related goals, like if your goal is to run, if you don't like running on a treadmill, which would be me, and I actually, when I'm running, prefer to run in the cold.
Same.
It's very hard to stick to those. And I think I
Yes.
was in that trap for sure because the weather is so rough that time of year, that I would be like, I remember running in slush.
Yes.
Like snow and slush and sleet and like all these awful.
I mean, really, it's a miracle that like I haven't thrown my knee out or ended up with like a horrible ACL tear, because even walking in those conditions, like it gets, for those who don't know, upstate New York gets extremely, especially now for whatever reason, climate change. We get like extreme cold snaps that will last for weeks. And so at some point in there, we'll get like maybe a storm, like a snowstorm. And then also at some point in there, we'll have, like last year, a 60-degree day in the first week of February. And then our building collapses because the ice dam on the roof flooded the whole building. I know, isn't that wild? That was like almost a year ago.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
So you have a situation where then when it freezes again, everything's ice because the roads have been flooded by the melted snow, and you're back to square one with trying to get out there. And for me, and I think for a lot of ADHDers, like I need the routine. Like I need to be saying, I'm going, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at this time, and the end. Like that is the plan. That's what I'm sticking to. And I always struggled with this in college too, because each semester when my classes changed, my whole schedule would change, and then I'd take like a month and a half to get into a new routine for like anything really. But especially
that's a really good point.
Thank you. So,
You're welcome.
when the weather is super shitty and I can't do something outside that I've been planning to do outside, then I'm kind of like I end up, it seems obvious, like, oh, okay, have like a $10 a month gym membership and go on a treadmill, but like I don't wanna. So now what? And so then I just don't do it, and it ends up, it becomes a
it's
non-starter.
super cold outside.
Yeah. And
it's like freezing, or we're getting like 6 inches of snow. I don't want to get into gym clothes, put on my boots, drive to the gym in the bad weather, work out, like change my shoes. It just like it puts a lot of barriers in the way.
Especially when you have executive functioning issues or seasonal depression or social anxiety.
You want to be cozy.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And so I think it's easy. And then, so you miss a day. So I miss the Wednesday. And so then it's like, well, I could make it up on Thursday, but then I can't do Thursday and Friday back to back because I need a rest day. And it like turns into this whole thing, and it becomes a non-starter. And it's so, for me, it was always so easy to like fall off of those routines. Good job on the milk.
Hey, thanks. And I'm totally listening to what you're saying. I'm just also trying to keep track of how much
Garet, you guys don't see the video, but we see our video, and Garet finished pumping and was measuring her
I was checking my
breast
outputs.
expression. Yeah.
Yes.
Outputs, that's the right phrase.
4.5. Yeah, not bad.
Nice.
That left side, I always get better output.
In Remember the Titans, their chant was left side, strong side. So there you go.
Not today. I got a tiny bit more on the right. Yeah,
But I did look up some like ADHD friendly New Year's resolutions that I thought were actually kind of
love that.
like plausible, because this was also that kind of thing that we talked about in our anniversary episode, where it was like there's plenty of articles out there that are coming from a place of neurotypicalness where
Yep.
it's like just get a planner, and it's like, I don't know, like if that worked, I wouldn't need New Year's Day to like make it work.
Yeah.
But that being said, the first one I found was called it just says like automate anything you can. So like online bill pay, direct deposit, setting alarms for things you want to do each day or each week so that you have that kind of like reminder, and you're not, it like takes it off your plate to remember to do that thing. I also saw something that it wasn't related to a New Year's resolution, but like using Chat GPT or a different AI service to help you prioritize tasks or break a project into little tasks. So like you'll say like, "Hey, I need to like vacuum, dust, clean the bathroom, do laundry, and do the dishes in the next 2 days. What order should I do these things in?" And then it'll spit out an answer and then say, "Okay, break vacuuming into smaller parts." And it'll like break it down for you. So like kind of using those things, especially I think if you're like in kind of like a paralysis thing where you can kind of gamify it, and like again, like crossing dumb shit off of my to-do list is like an easy dopamine hit for me. So
Love it.
like yeah, like
I
for
add
me it's like
tasks that I've
laundry,
already
like
completed just so I can cross them off.
yeah, like laundry into the washer, laundry into the dryer, like fold laundry, put laundry in basket, bring basket upstairs, put laundry away. Like that's like 5 or
Ugh.
6 different tasks that I can like check off.
Instead of laundry.
Exactly. And
Mhm.
so I mean obviously that's not going to work for you if like a long list of things is going to freak you out, but I like the idea of using AI to like break something down, or like I said, prioritize tasks and tell you like kind of what to do first so that you don't have to make that decision. You don't have to have the decision paralysis for it.
Yeah.
So the other, I just have like 2 more ideas basically. Well, 2 and a half. So the other one was like declutter. And again, like I think using AI for this could be helpful, but I also think kind of breaking it off and like setting like a weekly alarm, like declutter my nightstand and just pick
Mhm.
like one thing to declutter. Like I need to clean up my desk right now. It's not cute. But like just have that be the project and then be done,
Yep.
and um go through that, like we talked about organization and like the ripening drawer that you hate. But like if you just, I think if decluttering is really important to you, then I think measuring that out and having like a plan for the month, like okay, this month I want to declutter my office. So one weekend I'm going to declutter my desk, and the next weekend I'm going to declutter the bookcase, and then like put the cat toys where they need to go, and then the third or the fourth weekend is miscellaneous or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And kind of breaking it down into that might be more conducive to like accomplishing things. And then also like you have a deadline, but it's not like urgent.
Mhm.
So
Right.
it's not so like you can adjust that in a way that works for you or your schedule. So
Mhm.
which I think is also that, like we were saying, like with the workout stuff, that's what's tough is like when our schedule changes, or is dictated by something outside of our control,
Mhm.
that's when we falter.
Yeah,
Um
I've been doing, so and I don't have a lot of dedicated time to, like, I used to be able to say, like, "Okay, I'm gonna clean Saturday." And, I would just go through and, like, in the morning, like, throw on, like, basically, like, workout clothes and have music cranked, and I'd usually be smoking weed and cleaning all day with music playing. Like, I can't do that anymore. So, what
Mostly
I
the weed part, but yeah.
the whole like, not one bit of it. Can't fit in the workout clothes, don't have the dedicated time, can't smoke weed. Um, what I have been doing is, like, I take, like, probably an hour after the baby goes to bed to I just, like, do a sweep. Like, I don't it's not a lot of cleaning, it's not intense cleaning, it's just, like, a tidying. So,
Mhm.
like, all the, like, blankets on the couch get folded, and I put stuff back where it goes, and make sure, like, sink is empty for the morning, coffee's prepped. One of the things I have been doing that's made life easier, and I think I've mentioned it, I collect all of the laundry, put it into the washer, and I use, laundry sheets, the
Mhm.
detergent sheets. Get everything prepped, and I do a delay start so that it runs, like, really early in the morning, so that way when
Yeah.
I get up, all I have to do is switch it over. Um, so I've been trying to, like, just give myself, like, a blank slate in the morning, and that's just been my goal. So it's not even like, you know, I have to spend a lot of time cleaning. I don't have
Mhm.
to do anything when I get up in the morning.
Yeah.
I just try and give myself, like, a clean slate. Um, so I'm just, like, ready to go because I have a tendency too to, like, if I wake up and I haven't done that the night before and everything's messy, I immediately feel overwhelmed in the morning. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm like, I have to pump, I have to feed the baby, I have to feed myself, like, dogs have to be fed, dogs have to go out, like, all of these things, and then I'm like, "Oh my god," and the space is messy on top of it, like,
Mhm.
nightmare. And I also did, speaking of setting those alarms, added a reminder on my phone for every day at 8 o'clock so that I do my, PT work because
Oh,
I have
good.
not been doing it. And I asked the PT if I could go back to the gym, and she was like, "No, you're not ready for that." So I was like, I think I need to put a reminder on my phone,
Mhm.
to do that because otherwise I was remembering at 10 o'clock at night and I was too tired.
Yeah. Well, and it's that thing, like, you're, like, laying in bed and you're like, "Okay," like, checking off, like, what you
Yep.
did that day and what you're planning to do tomorrow, and it's like, "Oh, fuck." And then you're
Every
sitting
time.
there like me, shaking your wrist so that your Fitbit tracks steps when you're not
Yeah.
actually
And then I was
taking them.
like, too, I'm like, I'm not getting out of bed.
Yeah.
I'm not
Oh, for
doing it now.
sure.
I'm too tired. So yeah,
Mhm.
I set that for myself. Um, and the PT said, just just start with like 10 minutes a day. Just like
Mhm.
set aside 10 minutes a day to do something active or physical, even if it's just like stretching that you're doing for yourself every day. And I was like, I can do that. That's bite
Yeah.
size. So that's my
Yes.
goal. Anything beyond 10 minutes is great.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, and I think, like, you kinda touched on this earlier. So the third idea, I guess, for a resolution is to pick a theme for the year.
Like
So,
that. Yeah.
yeah, Rebel Wilson did this, and I remember reading an article because it was after she had lost a bunch of weight, and she was doing all these interviews about how she had lost weight and, like, the big change. Because I mean, she did. She lost, like,
Mhm.
50 or 60 pounds, like, she lost a good amount of weight.
Mhm.
Um, so she had, like, the year of love, the year of health, the year of career, and so she said, like, rather than saying, "I'm going to lose weight," or "I'm going to get married," having the more general, like, health or love goal means you can do whatever that means for you at on that day.
I like that.
So, I think this is great for ADHDers because it gives us that freedom to adjust what qualifies as fulfilling that resolution depending on the day. So, maybe I am really burnt out. So, for me, health that day means taking a nap and a hot shower and, like, journaling for a minute and, like, just actually kind of, like, centering myself. Maybe it means taking the stairs instead of the elevator, or making that doctor's appointment that I have to use a phone to make. So I'm like, rather than using like a patient portal or something,
Mhm.
skipping alcohol for a day, or like eating an orange for vitamin C, or getting your flu shot could be all part
I love
of
that. Yeah, yeah.
that. So I think that the idea of having a theme, like, oh, this year is going to be my year of organization. So, like, I'm going to just have the intention of being more deliberate with where I'm putting things, and making sure that when I'm done using something, I do my best to put it back in its spot. And if I see
Mhm.
it out of its spot, that I put it back in that moment, or do my best to do that. And again, like, that could mean having one day a week where you put on music and smoke a little pot and clean your whole house, or it could mean doing a sweep at the end of the day. But
Yep.
like, whatever that organization or health means for you, um like, you can do that. And the article I read, it's in our show notes, I don't know which one it is, whatever, but it recommended keeping like a run you menu of items in your like notes app, or like a list next to your wall calendar of things that would qualify, in your opinion, as on theme, so that when you inevitably realize, um this is me, but like, when I inevitably realize that I haven't done something on theme in a few days or a few weeks, I can look at that list and pick something off quick and then get back on track. So like, you're kind of instantly achieving your resolution then, um which I thought was a great idea. I think probably the notes app would be the better way to go. But I don't know. I love a good wall calendar, so I don't mind having my wall calendar, like having it next to my wall calendar, or even on the last
Mhm.
page of your wall calendar, so it's not like visible, because I have a wall calendar at work and then I have one here.
Mhm.
But, you can still keep it like private, so because not many people, I think, are out about their ADHD or neurodivergence at work.
Mhm.
Um, so that would be helpful, I think. But I thought that was a great idea to have
Yeah.
like a theme for the year, rather than like a
Yeah.
specific, I'm going to do this.
And I
And
guess I
so,
have done that where I've had like years where I've just had a focus of something. Um and I'm just thinking to myself like, okay, yeah, so I just need my theme to be that I need to organize my house and start working out again and and I'm like listing things off and I'm like, nope, that's the opposite of what
and then
she's
Katie
saying.
sent me a text about all these business things we have to do.
Oh god.
She's medicated again, so I guess she's in charge.
Got to do those things too. Yeah, I am looking around. I'm like, yep, this is there's a lot. There's a lot of things I got to do.
It's fine. It'll get done.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Um,
like definitely like I've been very low pressure with myself, which I think is good
yeah,
instead of high pressure and beating myself up.
I would agree that that is a good thing.
Yes.
And then this is like the half tip I have is, like, which I've seen everywhere. It's not just an ADHD thing, but like, incentivize yourself with like rewards.
Yeah.
I personally I couldn't think of a way to do this without like spending money. So like, I
Yeah.
don't know how I would be like, oh, if I did, like, I know some people like those goal tracker things, which I'm sure that there's an app for, which you could also use to like manage this and say, like, okay, I did something from my health menu of category theme thing for 60 days. Therefore, I get, I don't know, to fuck around in Target, or I don't know. Like, that's the thing where I'm like, I don't know what a reward would be that's not like shopping spree.
Yeah, I would definitely be treating myself to like a massage like every season.
Oh yeah, massage is good. I
Yeah.
need a massage. My low back keeps spasming. It's
Yeah.
not great.
Um
I don't
that
recommend.
the PT was like, "I think you should do that. I think you should go get a massage." And I was like,
Can we
"Yeah, that sounds
expense
great."
it, you think, and just put it on our taxes?
It's for research for mental health.
It's important. It was a retreat.
I love a massage. And it's funny because like I didn't do it for so long, so I was like kind of put off by the thought of it, and now I'm like, I have a friend that does massage, and she was I think she was working on my mom. She was doing a massage on my mom and was like laughing about how vocal I am during a massage. And I've also been thanked for my positive feedback during a massage.
Oh,
Because I will tell you when something feels great, and I will make noises, and I can't help it. I just love
I'm
it.
definitely imagining you making sex noises.
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. That's
Um,
fair. I mean, we should ask PK. Fucking
that did sound
dog.
like the house was hungry. Yeah.
Nope, just the dog screaming at anybody that exists on our street.
So you could do that. That's something that you could do seasonally without having to spend money.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those who don't know, PK is used to be a licensed massage therapist. And but yeah, I should ask him how he felt about people making noises. I feel like he probably is like it doesn't even register.
Yeah.
Because that's what he said about like body hair. He was like at a certain
Yeah.
point like you just don't notice it or feel it
Yeah.
anymore, like it's not a thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's good to know because I inevitably realized that I haven't shaved in like 3 or 4 days. And so my legs are all cactusy.
3 or 4 days is generous. I'm probably going on 3 or 4 weeks right now.
Nice.
Well, no,
Well, it's
maybe 2
winter,
weeks.
you know.
It's winter. It's funny. My spouse was traveling, and one of my like, I have to think of it like things that I've done to fill my cup back up.
Did you take a bath in red wine and stain your tub?
I did take a bath a few weeks ago. I didn't take it in red wine. I did use a bath bomb that Katie asked. Oh no, was it you that asked me if I was taking a bath in Kool-Aid? No, it was somebody else.
Yeah, it had to be somebody else.
But I took a shower, and I kept describing myself as I just felt crusty. Like I just had to descale. Like I just like my skin felt dry. Like I needed to exfoliate. I needed to shave my legs. Like there was just like so my face needed to be like scrubbed.
Yeah.
I was like I've just taken so many utility showers that I just needed like a deep clean. And man, I felt like $1,000,000 when I got out.
Man, those types of shower. I mean, that is the really great thing about, I guess, being old now that I'm officially in my late 30s. But also it being winter is that I'll go a week plus without shaving my legs. And then when I do, I feel like a newborn baby seal. And I just like, I'm so aerodynamic.
Oh
It
yeah.
is the best feeling.
Like give me a hot shower where I, exfoliate all of my skin and like shave my legs, and then I have this really nice lavender vanilla body oil that I'll use after.
I was
And
going to
it
say,
just
if I
like
can remember to put lotion on after a shower, that is a good day for me. Cause
yes.
boy, I will instantly get dressed and then forget.
Yes. I had to put lotion right next to my shower so that when I get out, I immediately lotion, because otherwise I won't. And then I'm like, why does my skin hurt? Because it's so dry.
I do have a full size like thing of lotion on my desk at work because I will get there and then like my lower legs will be so fucking itchy that I will just claw them off of my body. So yeah, I've done that before.
Yeah. So it's just like a really nice, that's a nice way to kind of fill your cup back up, and then to get into clean sheets, there's nothing better.
Clean. Yeah, that's our current ongoing. It's not a fight. It's not even like a disagreement. It's just that PK refuses to use a flat sheet. And I think that's deranged. So inevitably I'll make the bed and put the flat sheet on, and then he like kicks it down. So then when I go to like throw the covers back on in the morning, I have like an extra 4 feet of flat sheet on my side of the bed. Instead, he could just like sleep on top of it and it would be fine, because it's not like, I don't know, like we're not in college. We're not waking up in the middle of the night and going at it. So like he doesn't need direct access to my undercarriage.
I can't wait for our intern to edit this episode. Um,
You know what I mean, though? Like, it wouldn't matter. It doesn't matter that the flat sheet is, like, closing me off.
so I guess, like, that's also supposed to be, like, an age thing, right? Like, younger people don't want a flat sheet.
I guess. I don't know.
I
I've heard that, but
Psycho.
then
Psycho.
it's
I
just
need
strange to me.
options. Like,
Yeah.
we have a flat sheet, a blanket, and then, like, a bedspread.
We just have the duvet but that's why I want the flat sheet. I don't want
Right.
the duvet touching me. I mean, granted, our duvet has like I have a waterproof duvet cover, so like
Mhm.
nothing is getting through from the top of the duvet like through the actual like filling.
Still,
But we have a dog that's on the bed all the time and
that's
like
so much extra work.
yeah.
'Cause there's times where, like, I mean, if we didn't have dogs sleeping on the bed, it would definitely just be like, "Okay, I don't need to wash the bedspread, I just need to wash
Oh,
the
absolutely.
sheets."
Yeah.
Um, Now if I'm washing it, I'm just washing everything, but it's like, I love if I just want something on me, but I don't wanna be warm, that I can just pull a flat sheet over me.
Yep.
That's
His
bananas.
problem also is that when I do put a flat sheet on the bed, I tuck it into the bottom of the bed
Yes.
so it doesn't go everywhere like a
Yes.
normal person making a bed.
Yes. My spouse also does not like the sheets tucked in at the end.
I don't like I get that he's tall, but like y- I don't know, fucking deal. Yeah, like you don't have to sleep underneath the flat sheet. Like that's the thing that gets me with it.
Yeah.
Like just sleep on top of it and then we're both happy. Like what's the problem?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I can't live in a world where there's no flat sheets.
Yeah,
I
well,
can't.
at least you're not dating PK cuz
And then it's so nice when you make the bed, like, and fold everything over and
oh yeah, it looks delightful
right.
and like a bed should look.
Yes.
But I keep getting ads for Boll and Branch and I'm like, "Man, those are really nice sheets, but why would I bother paying that much for sheets when they're going to be mistreated by my partner?"
Um, One of my, like, obsessions, kind of like shark vacuums, is linen sheets,
Mm,
and it's all we sleep on is linen sheets, and they are warm in the wintertime, cool in the summertime. One of the greatest things I've ever purchased ever.
hmm,
We use linen sheets for quite a while now,
hmm.
and 5 stars.
I thought about getting a set of flannel sheets
Oh,
because
the
yeah,
best.
yeah. And our bedroom is kind of chilly. It's not I mean, it's not like it's heated, but I refuse to turn the thermostat over 65. And we just have the one zone in our house, so which is downstairs. So when downstairs is warm with its like billion radiators, our one radiator upstairs is checked out. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of chilly when I first go up to bed and I was like flannel sheets would be nice. That would be delightful. But not if I can't have
I
a fucking flat sheet on top of me.
I
So,
like, I love linen sheets, but if it was just me and I wanted cozy sheets, there's, like, nothing softer than
it's
flannel
so good.
sheets.
Oh,
Um,
I love flannel pajamas. I love flannel sheets. I
I
love flannel.
sometimes, when it gets really cold, will make my spouse warm up my side of the bed. So he'll
I
get
think
on
it's
my side
really
and
cute that
preheat.
you said sometimes. When when I first heard that story, it was, "I make my spouse get into my side of the
I tend
bed."
to get into bed earlier now, so I usually just have to warm up my own side. And postpartum, I'm not really cold very often, so I don't do it as much, but it used to be like every night. I'm like, "You
Yes.
better get over there and warm up my side of the bed so I'm not cold when I get in." It's great.
Yeah. So, that was
Just cute things I do.
very passenger princess of you, frankly.
Just cute little demands I make,
Yeah, and me
like
being
a
like,
hostage situation.
"We're putting the microwave up now, and I will die if we don't because I will explode."
Yeah.
I am really excited though to not have a microwave on our counter, which is what we currently have.
You'll have so much more counter space.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'll be able to move my stand mixer over and like we'll have designated prep space, and right now our microwave and our toaster share an outlet, so I have to like plug one in and unplug it if I want to swap, which like
That's such a pain.
isn't the end of the world. Yeah, it's just super fucking annoying. Like,
Yeah.
so
I will say
uh
maybe I'll add like a decluttering. Maybe that'll be like my goal for like the first half of the year. I'm just
okay.
going to try and like keep my house in order and like simplify and get rid of stuff that is just taking up space.
Yeah, I think I'll join you on that one because I think now that we've been here 6 months, like we're able to say, okay, yes, I use this. No, we don't use that.
That's like one of the hardest things, especially when you're moving in together into a new
Yeah.
space is I remember my dad saying that when we first moved in together. He was like, you have to use a space to figure out how you use it first before you change anything.
Mhm.
Because otherwise, like you're moving in and you're like, yeah, I think this makes sense to me, and then you start using it and you're like, I don't even use this room.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it's a good like thing to like revisit.
Mhm.
And I know with us, like it's just evolved over time. Like there's certain times where, we're doing a lot of this and we need this space for this, and then the space has to change because now we have ADHD and we're not doing that anymore. We're doing this instead. And it's just like a
Or
constant.
someone texts you and demands that we start a podcast.
So now we need a podcast room. I don't know what to tell you. We need a podcast room, but I'm also going to podcast from bed.
I was thinking about that today. I was like, yeah, last January, February, we were like remodeling the podcast studio, and
Sure.
now I haven't seen it since last June.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a shit show right now. So speaking of like having to organize things. Well, and at
I
this
know.
point, it's like it is just so hard. It used to be where like if we had a day where we were like, okay, we're gonna tackle all these things, we would each just like separate
Mhm.
and take care of the things we were our strong points or what we preferred to take care of or whatever, and we would like regroup and touch base throughout the day. And now it is like one person at a time can be doing things.
Yeah.
It isn't something.
But that's all I have for resolutions. You can let us know in the comments on our Instagram what your resolution is or what your plan is for dealing with New Year's resolutions
I think the themed thing
this
is
year.
the
Me
best
too.
idea.
I think it is like, especially like, again, like having that running menu of things that are on theme and match like the idea of like health, including like a flu shot or making a doctor's appointment or
Excellent.
like just taking the stairs one day. Like I just love that idea. I think it is so much more manageable and like
Yeah.
actually healthy.
Yeah.
Um and set a reasonable goal if you want to. And let us know in the comments
I am
what
curious to hear like different some unique New Year's resolutions that people have had.
I think our listeners will definitely have some great resolutions.
Yeah.
So I hope that they comment on our Instagram because inevitably, like, also I think it'll help give other people ideas
Yeah.
because there's also that thing where it's like, well, I don't know.
I personally love New Year's. Um I've just always really enjoyed like that feeling of like a fresh start and the
Oh,
days
for
are starting to
sure.
get a little bit longer and um I love that time between like Christmas and like New Year's and like our anniversaries right after that. So it's always just like there's like so many things to do. And we
Hmm.
usually like make like a real big spread for New Year's Eve and do a bunch of food and, like fancier stuff than we would normally do. I love this time of year.
Yeah, me too. Like I said, I mean, I love this time of year. I love that everybody has all their holiday lights up and it looks like twinkly and beautiful outside, even if it's cold. And I think like you, I love the fresh slate thing. I always loved the start of the new school year for that reason. Um, I love New Year's for that reason. Anything where it's like new and a chance for like an adventure, I love it. I'll eat it right up.
That's a good way to put it. I
Yeah.
will say a seasonal depression aid that I have found recently is I bought curtain lights on Amazon, and it's just like little white twinkly lights that I hung the length of my windows, and wow. It automatically puts me in a good mood, and I'm leaving them up forever.
I thought, you know what? That's a great tip. Also, I thought about your curtain lights because you told me about them like 3 times now.
Yep, they're great.
Garrett really
Obsessed.
loves those fucking lights, guys.
She does. She literally stares at them all the time. Me and the
But
baby are just like, wow.
well, so I was thinking about the baby and I was like, yeah, but next year you're gonna have to like tie them up so that she can't pull on them because she'll be mobile.
It stresses me the fuck out. But you know what? It's so funny. Like, people say, oh, you get all these like little hints of their personality when they're like this age.
Mm-hmm.
And she just, ever since she was like brand new, loves lights, like staring at lights. And we have string lights like all over
You
the
have
house.
them all over, yeah.
Yeah. And
She
she's
and I are
always
gonna
just
be
like
Christmas pals, I can tell.
staring at them. And I was like, God, I wonder where she gets that. And then I was like, oh, me who has string lights all over the fucking house. Where does she get it, really?
Oh my gosh, you're gonna have to go to holiday lights in the park.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a big fan of lights, and it comes from nowhere strange. So if you have seasonal depression, buy some cool curtain lights online and hang them in your windows.
And that can be part of your year of health.
Yeah. And it's one of those things I'm like, I fucking love this, so I'm gonna get them and hang them up, and it's gonna make me happy.
Totally. Yeah, because the bar is ankle high.
Or in hell.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.